Hey, what's going on, everyone? Scott here. This time we're up here at Outpost Zimonja. It's kind of a neat place to build. It's a little difficult being that it's mainly on a hill, but I think I was able to come up with something pretty cool for you this week. I really enjoyed this one. Uh, I built here a couple of times, even on the PS4, and nothing ever really came out all that great. So I think I've really come up with something that I really like. It's kind of a junk town type of type of thing I got going on in here this week. I figure, with the overpass back there, and it's all fallen down and everything, and this is right next to it, that the overpass would be where they got most of their supplies to build the settlement. Like the semi trailers and cars and, and whatever is in the shipping containers and stuff like that, because there's an awful lot of that stuff that's all over that overpass up there. If we come around here and take a look, you see there's semi trailers down there on the ground, trucks up on the overpass. There's some shipping containers down right there, cars all over the place. So I really thought that would be a good idea. This is where they would get all of their supplies and things like that to build the settlement. So I kind of went with that this week. So we'll head on in and start checking it out. I set up the guard post there. That one is actually from the thematic and practical. No, I think that's from the J2M. Then I got a little junk wall here and some interactive furniture pieces and things like that. And then the semi trailer here, I wanted to do something, not make a house out of it, but I made a general trader shop out of it. And I've just added a few junk things in here. The countertop there, that's from thematic and practical. And then I've used a one of the shop rugs to place it down right there. Now, something, I don't know what's been going on with this outpost, but I have not been able to assign anyone to anything. I don't know exactly what's going on there. I mean, I've been able to assign them to the crops, because this is one settlement I finally did put crops down in, and so I'm not able to get a general trader. But with the Unlock Settlement Objects mod, the USO mod, he's added NPCs that you can build, and so I've built a general trader to keep here in the settlement. And you can interact with her. She's just a general trader. She does count against your settler limit, but you can't assign her to anything. So you can't assign her to a shop, but when you talk to her, it opens it up, and there you go. She, acts a lot like Trash Can Carla that way. So I've set down a lot of interactive pieces. This is from like the interactive workshop items and stuff, and Crimson Rider's unique furniture and things like that. Which, with not being able to assign people to things, kind of really sucks, because I thought the boost still would fit in really well here. So I put one down and I can't assign anybody to it. So, what am I going to do? Then that guard dog, that's from the Better Stores mod. He's pretty cool. You can have him as a companion like dog meat, or tell him to patrol your settlement, and that's what he'll do. He'll walk around patrolling the settlement, and if it does get attacked, he will attack too, but he's non-essential. So he will die if I think I might get back in here and give him some dog armor. But that chair, that's from Crimson Rider's unique furniture. You see there the settler interacting with it. They sit around, lounge around. The chair over there, they'll sit down and read a newspaper. And then the doghouse is from thematic and practical for the dog. And then you see there, I put the chem station up, and you see the settler there shooting up with something. But I gave them the vending machines all have NPC animations too. And then you got the little area for the general store. Now, the one thing about this settlement is even with scrap that settlement, you can't scrap any of this. Um, you can't scrap the buildings that were here. So I kind of embraced it a little bit, and I've added a few more walls to it because the walls that were here were basically see-through. They weren't really walls. They were just some, boards slapped up on a wall. And I wanted to make it more of a structure feel, so I was able to use the Place Anywhere mod and place walls in there to give it a more closed-in cabin-type feel to these structures that we can't get rid of anyway. And then plenty of beds. Some of the Tonight You Sleep on the Couch I've used. I love using those because they add beds and don't take up a lot of space. And we'll head up the stairs and check those rooms out in a little bit. But back over here, you see there's the settlement workbench, but I've added a little workshop area back here. Back behind it, I've placed a bunch of floor pieces down and some railings, and made a pretty neat little workshop area back over here. You can see here where I fit in the floor pieces to fit right in with the concrete floor that you can't get rid of. And I placed down the armor bench there and the weapons bench. And then this workbench, this is from Eisenwolf's Legacy, the Symbiotic Settlements mod. And it's the Eisenwolf's workbench. Now currently there isn't anything you can do with it, even if you have Symbiotic Settlements, which I do. I love that mod. But it's just a cool looking workbench. So I put it down more for decorations than anything because you can't do anything with it. Then you can kind of see there I built on and made a little extra room, made that one end of that shack up there a little bit bigger, added railings to the walkways, just to try to make it more than what it was since you can't get rid of it anyway, which is what I wanted to do. I would have loved to have been able to just get rid of all of that and start from just nothing here. You can see there I added lots of junk and crap underneath there just to kind of give it a more lived-in feel here, like they've been here for a while. And then it kind of gave them a little patio area up here. That chess game is from Crimson Rider's Unique Furniture. The NPCs will sit down and actually play chess. Then you can see there where I placed anywhere in those walls to give it a more closed-in feel, to make it an actual room out of it. And then using the thematic and practical bunk beds, I thought they went in a lot better here than using the metal bunk beds like from the Working Bunk Beds mod. Then I was able to place a waving Minuteman flag there at the top of the tower, kind of a throwback there to the castle. I thought that was pretty neat. I actually placed that up there from the ground. I didn't get up there. I thought I got it pretty close. You can see some of the walls there that I placed in here, and then I added a floor piece that actually snapped in to the other side of this, so I could make this room a little bit bigger and add a few more things on it. I really like the way that came out. I thought it came out pretty cool. Now we'll head on down and check out the rest of the settlement over here. That newsstand, that's another one from Crimson Rider. That's pretty cool. The NPCs will come over and lean against it and start reading a paper and stuff. I thought it was pretty cool. In the mod it says that Piper's delivering her paper out to the Commonwealth, the different settlements and stuff. And I'd kind of gotten away from using crops in a lot of settlements. I was using like the Better Stores mod that adds livestock and butcher counters and things like that. But I actually kind of wanted to have crops in this one. I thought it fit in pretty well. Now, next we'll check out this trailer over here. This trailer was unlocked from a couple of different ones. I think this one was in the vanilla expansion pack. But I placed down a flatbed, and then rather than having the trailer sitting flat against the flatbed, I raised it up a little bit and put some cinder blocks underneath it, like that's what was holding the trailer up, you know, because there's no wheels on this one. It's just a flat bottom, you know. So I don't know, every trailer park I've ever seen, if it didn't have wheels, it was up on cinder blocks. So kind of went with that. And that planter, that's from the Symbiotic Settlements mod. It's pretty cool. You can plant crops or whatever in there. I've got a few things planted in there, and then you can, you know, the settlers that are assigned to it come over and they work it like regular crops, but it's in a little planter box. I got a couple of those two big tires right there. Those are planters also. And we'll check out the inside of the trailer here. Thematic and practical, adds all kinds of really cool furniture and stuff. The beds, the couches, the tables. I really like using it. It really goes in well with the, you know, junk town feel here. You know, kind of real scrappy type stuff. So I was really happy with the way that came out. And then also the vanilla extensions pack from the Master Plan series adds doors to these trailers. Now I wish it had a darker texture to it, not so shiny, but still it's pretty cool to have a door that, you know, has animation that can close on that, rather than putting like a shack door or something on there. I really like the way it came out. And here's a better look at the planters and those big tires. Those are pretty cool, I think. Now we're going to take a look at this big wooden shack here that I built. This was a mix of a few different things. Like snap and build and vanilla extensions and things like that. But I wanted to show you guys this little couch thing that I came up with. Now that crate is from Workshop Interactive Objects, and it's just the crate. And then I put a safe and then the metal container down on the sides to kind of make arms to it. And then behind there I took a piece of junk wall, and then I used the Place Anywhere mod to shrink it down to kind of make a back to the couch. I thought it came out pretty cool to make a little makeshift couch for these guys to sit on. I really like the way that came out. Then in the description of my video, I put links that'll take you to, it'll show you all the mods that I use and my load order for the Xbox One and the PlayStation. So if you guys want to check that out, it's in the description. The links are there. And we'll head on inside here and check this one out. I love the way this came out. You know, some the Tonight You Sleep on the Couch mod. There's a couple more planters. There's like a bunch of them. Paint cans and buckets and tires and the boxes. It's pretty cool. Now this little part right here, it's empty for a reason. This is from the Workshop Interactive Objects, and it's empty because the settlers can come over and lean on it. You can see there, they'll come over and lean over it and kind of hang out the window a little bit and look around. It's actually pretty cool when they do it. So I left that empty so that way they could walk up and do it. And then those lamps there, those were the floor lamps that you get from like collecting the picket fence magazines in the game. And then I used the Place Anywhere mod to place it inside the table to make kind of a standing table lamp out of it. I thought it came out pretty cool. Love using that Tonight You Sleep on the Couch mod. Now we'll go in here and check out the bathroom. And a lot of this, the bathroom is, a lot of it is from symbiotic settlements, like the sewer pipes there. That mod gives you, you have to build a sewage plant, which you'll see in the video here in a little bit. And then the pipes snap right to the floor, right to the corner. And then the toilet and the sink snap right to the pipes. And the sink actually works. You know, you can sit and use the toilet, and the sink provides clean water. And then it also gives you the mirror there and the little shelf, not the hamper, that was unlock settlement objects, but it gives you this kind of prefab tub, and then unlock settlement objects. Andrew CX have added the water. So you build the water, and then you can use the place anywhere or the pillar glitch to move the water into the tub. It's actually pretty cool. Then also the vanilla expansion pack has added, you know, like angled floors and angled walls and angled roofs. And I've been waiting for a spot that would look good to use it. And building this shack up here on this hill, I thought fit really well, because not only is it sloping down towards the center, but it's also sloping upwards in this corner of the settlement. So I thought, you know, having the angled floor to go up into this other level is pretty cool. And then using a lot of the beds from Thematic and Practical there, I just thought fit in a lot better than using like the metal beds and things like that. You know, like these guys had to take whatever they could find off of the overpass there and build their furniture out of it or whatever. But I really like the way that little shack came out. Next we're going to move on to, well, I think this one was probably my favorite house to build. The J2M mod, and I've noticed that the USO Unlock Settlement Objects mod they have modular containers now. The J2M has had it for a while, where you put down just the frame and then you add whatever walls, floors, ceilings you want to it. So I thought it'd be cool to try to make a house out of it that way. So I took 2 regular shipping containers and I sunk them down in the ground there to make a platform to build on with. You can see there, and then I added some junk walls there, like that's what's helped holding the containers in place. And then I put walls around the outside, and I put doors on one of them, like they cut out the inside of it and kind of made a double wide shipping container out of it, and it gives me a little more room to make a house out of it. I thought it came out way better than I had expected. I really liked the way this one came out. And then I put a third one on top, but I kind of moved it offset about halfway, and then I left the roof off a part of the orange one and the floor out of the one on top, and then I was able to put the stairs in there to make a little loft bedroom up there. I was really happy with the way that came out. That came out pretty cool, I thought. But then, like I said, there's not a whole lot of room in these shipping containers, so pardon me. You got about enough room for a bed and things like that, and then a window for the walls that adds different kinds of ones like that, so you got a pretty good view of the settlement out of there. Love the way that came out. Then I made a little patio area on top. Then I took a small shipping container and I sunk it down in the front of it and put a planter on top of it. I thought it just looked pretty cool. And then like any crop, you can put it in there. I think I put silt beans in that. And then I made a little staircase to come up on the outside there, and I made a little patio area on top, little sitting, lounging area for the settlers up here. Then I put up some furniture, laid down some tables. That little table with the tire, I made that with using the Place Anywhere mod. I shrunk the tire down. I shrunk the piece of plywood down to make a little makeshift table out of it. I really like the way that came out. I thought it was really cool. And you can see here I put some shack supports underneath the end of it, of the overhanging container, so it can be, so that's what's supporting it. I was really happy with the way this little house came out. It was probably one of the better ones because I've tried to make houses out of them before, and I really like the way this one came out the best. Then we're going to come back here in between them. This was really kind of, I put a few junk fences up at the entrance up there, but this is the only place I put fences around, because all of this stuff back here is actually outside the build area. I've got the Settlement Borders Extended mod, which really extends the border. You can build a lot outside the borders, but the settlers and things won't go outside the vanilla build area. But it's a good way to put your like water and generators and things like that outside the build area, so you're not taking up room, you know, in a smaller settlement like Outpost Zimonja. And then, like I said, for the bathroom in there, you had to build a sewage plant from the Symbiotic Settlements mod, and that's the sewage plant. And you got to power it up. I think it's like 5 power, 2 power, something like that. So I've got it powered up. I've got a water purifier there that I've powered up. And then once you've got the sewage plant powered up, then you can snap in the sink and all of that stuff, so it'll work. And then Symbiotic Settlements adds this water barrel right here that you can place right there on the wall, and it actually provides 2 water for your settlement. And then every now and then when you walk up to it, you see the little bucket there on the side. You walk up to that bucket and there's a couple of bottles of water in there. It's actually pretty cool. I really like that mod a lot. Then we're going to come down here and check out my little diner. I used it. I did something similar like this at Finch Farm a while back, where I made a little diner out of a shipping container. I really liked the way it came out, so I wanted to use it again, especially here, because, you know, there's not really enough room to make some big restaurant or anything, you know. But somebody, you know, one of them took the container, cut it up, you know. And then you can see here I put lots of junk around that they've dragged down from the overpass. And then I recruited Sheffield from Diamond City, and I sent him up here to Outpost Zimonja, and I've got him in there running my little diner. So I'm going to put his unemployed butt to work for me. Then he got his supplies out here for the diner in there. Then I put him a stove, and that red refrigerator, that's from the Better Stores mod. That actually refills with Nuka-Cola and things like that. And then on top, I put just another little sitting, lounging area. You know, they can get them something to eat, get them a drink, and then come up here and sit down and relax a little bit. But I really like the way that came out. I love it. And then I put a big guard post up here on this side, because there's 2 spawn points when this settlement gets attacked. One is at the other entrance over there where the video started, and the other one is over here underneath that overpass. So I took a semi-trailer and used the Place Anywhere mod to sink it down into the ground. You can do that with the pillar glitch too. You can do all of this with the pillar glitch too. And then that guard post is actually from Thematic and Practical. But then I placed a bunch of crates and barrels underneath it, so that's what's supporting it there, from leaning in the dirt and leaning on the sitting on the trailer. And then you know, I used crates and barrels and cinder blocks and tires and things like that to really kind of just build this up. And then the car I placed there, sunk it down a little bit. I thought it was made a pretty good little turret stand there on the front. And that's one of the cars that won't explode if it's shot, so it was safe to use there. Then I made a little makeshift turret stand out of a couple of tires and a pallet on this end. And then I wanted to put some junk walls along this side of it. Kind of like that's what's kind of holding it up there, so it's not like falling out of the ground or making the ground collapse or anything like that, you know. And then the stairs to walk up on top. And then he can, you know, the guard can walk over and walk up onto his guard post here. Because like I said, pretty much directly in front of the guard there, underneath the overpass, is where enemies spawn when they attack the settlement. So I got plenty of defense. I think right now I'm upwards around 140, something like that. And I've got a mod downloaded called BS Defense. If you don't have it, you probably should. It's really great. It changes the settlement attack. So if your settlement gets attacked without it, like in the vanilla game, it's kind of a roll of the dice whether or not your settlement wins or loses, no matter how much defense you have. BS Defense changes that, because that's kind of the way I felt. You put up all these defenses and they don't do any good if you're not there. So it changes that. So if you've got your defense higher than your food plus your settlers, then you're going to win every time. And I really like that about that mod. So this is my Outpost Zimonja, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please hit that like button. I love it when you do that. If you got any comments or questions, just leave a comment. Always happy to answer that kind of stuff. And don't forget to subscribe. Thanks a lot, guys. Have a good one.